main card was a banger. The UFC should have hyped this card way more. I believe somebody got either dropped or finished in every round, or every fight rather. But let's get right into it, starting off with Crute and Alonzo Menfield. That first round, it was clear that it was clear that Alonzo had the power, because in every punch exchange, Crute got dropped or severely hurt. So he had to go for the takedowns, which was clear he had the grappling advantage. But Alonzo was able to power his way through pretty much everything in the first. Then as soon as they got back up, in the last 20 seconds, Alonzo proved once again that he was the stronger fighter, because they tried to do a punch exchange. And Alonzo got the best of Crute. And if that round, when that ended, that would have probably been it, and Alonzo would have got the dub. But in that second round, it was clear both of them were still tired from the first round. Crute was tired from trying to hold down that monster, because, man, once he got back up, Alonzo's left hand was landing at will. But I have to say, I think Crute won that fight overall, because he just had the better, more control, and he was able to keep him down. But, man, I probably have to watch that fight again, but I know Alonzo was hurting him bad. Crute had to grapple. I don't know why he was trying to stand up with him, but he learned this lesson. If they fight again, Alonzo probably will win that fight. Now let's get into the next matchup between Justin and Parker. I believe Parker, before the fight, was saying that he wanted to bite down on his mouthpiece and just start swinging back and forth with Justin, which is what he did, and he ended up getting knocked out for it. And then I don't know why he was trying to protest at the end. He was clearly done. Like, if Justin would have kept going, that would have been a rout for Parker. So that was the end of that. And then you have the Jack Daly fight versus Randy Brown. And I believe before that fight, Randy Brown was saying he wanted this young killer, and that's what he got. It was clear Jack Daly is probably the best boxer in the UFC at the moment, or at least top 5, because, man, he stood back the whole time, and I thought the reach was going to be trouble for him, because during the first minute, he was having a hard time getting in, and Randy Brown was landing the jab. I believe he was landing a kick up the middle, and Jack Daly couldn't get in. But once he found that distance and he came in, one punch was all it took, and Randy Brown dropped. So we have to look out for Jack Daly. I believe he probably should get somebody in the top 15 at this point. I have to look up and see who he deserves. But, man, that was a good fight, and we got a great prospect on our hands with Jack Daly. I can't wait to watch more of his fights. And now we had a co-main event, which was between Josh Emmett and Yair Rodriguez, and, man, that was fun. No one threw a punch for the first 3 minutes, but once, I believe Josh landed one, or Yair, I believe Yair landed them teep kicks, and the footwork was really bothering Josh Emmett. But one punch, I believe he landed on Yair, and Yair felt that, and that pretty much changed everything. It's like Yair started getting more aggressive from there, started kicking his body hard and legs, and kicking his legs hard, and Josh was really feeling that. I believe Yair's power kind of surprised Josh, and so he had to, I think that second round when Yair went for a knee, Josh just took him straight to the ground. He didn't want to stand up no more, but that ended up being his downfall, because Yair showed off that he had some good jiu-jitsu skills, and I believe he landed his first submission in the UFC with that nice triangle choke. And it seemed like just from the whole fight, Josh really wasn't on his level, from grappling to striking. It was clear Yair was just much better than him. So I can't wait for that Volkanovski fight when they fight each other, whether it be at the end of the year most likely. But speaking of Volkanovski, let's get right into his matchup with Islam. That fight went way different than people expected. Islam's striking was a lot better, and Volkanovski's grappling was a lot better. He was able to stand up from almost every takedown, and Islam was landing some good punches on Volkanovski. I believe he dropped him one of his punches, or maybe he dropped him twice with a couple of his punches. His jab was good, but, man, Volkanovski shocked a lot of people when he was able to get out the rear naked choke, being able to stand up from every takedown. I was really surprised with Volkanovski. He really impressed me, man. He really might be the best pound for pound fighter in the UFC, and they probably should give him a rematch if I had to say so, because, man, Islam really had a hard time with Volkanovski. Now that was a good fight, man, just to say the least. Some people think it was a bad decision between Islam getting that unanimous decision, but I believe Islam should have won. The unanimous decision really didn't bother me. It was a pretty close fight, but I think Islam won just because of the grappling, and he did land some good punches. But, man, that was a good fight. And then I believe Volkanovski sat down Islam in that fourth round. and got top position. I thought that was over for Islam in that fourth. And if Volkanovski would have got that finish in front of that crowd, oh boy, that would have been crazy. I would have been hyped myself. I would have had to fly to Aussie just to celebrate with Volkanovski on that one. It would have been a champ. But unfortunately, it didn't go that way, man. And that's crazy. I really think Khabib not being in Islam's corner probably hurt him more than he thought. But either way, man, that was a great fight, man. And I love this card, man. I think that was the best card of the year so far. Far as who Islam should fight next, if they don't do an immediate rematch, which I kind of doubt since Yair won that interim belt, I believe Islam should fight the winner out of Charles Oliveira and Dariush, which I'd have to go through that fight once it's official. And far as Alexander, his next fight is pretty simple. He should fight he has to fight Yair, which is gonna be an interesting fight based off the way he came out. But I believe Volkanovski will probably win that fight too. But I'll get into that fight once that's official as well. But I appreciate y'all listening to me, and don't forget to like and subscribe to the video. See you at the top. Peace.